Tim Parks, Medici Money, Banking, Metaphysics, and Art in 15th-Century Florence. Step into the remarkable world of the Medicis, a wealthy and powerful banking family that played a pivotal role in the transformation of 15th-century Florence. In Tim Parks' riveting account, Medici Money, Banking, Metaphysics, and Art in 15th-Century Florence, witness the emergence of modern society as the Medicis defy church doctrines and champion artistic masterpieces. Discover how banking, usury, and financial innovation served the city's elite while also paving the way for the modern world's secular values and institutions. Walk the tightrope between money, power, and religion as you examine the moral dilemmas and cultural upheavals of a time when finance was considered a deadly sin.
The Medici banking family, a glimpse at their rise to power. The Medici family, known for their patronage of art during the Renaissance, rose to power in the late 14th century. They defied the Catholic Church by launching an international bank at a time when charging interest was considered a sin. In doing so, they introduced unprecedented social mobility and challenged the status quo. Despite their eventual downfall, the Medici dynasty left a lasting impact on the worlds of finance and art. The emergence of modern society in Florence. The Medici reign in Florence marked the emergence of modern society, where church and state are separate, and moral values exist outside religious doctrine. Despite the Church's criticism of usury, it needed and encouraged the growth of international banking. Triangular transactions and linguistic subterfuge were used to circumvent the ban on usury. While bankers violated the ban on usury, religious leaders also skirted the issue, leading to constant tension between religious teachings and private practices. The rise of modern banking served the personal purposes of clerics who hoarded wealth. The Medici's patronage of the arts in the 15th century set the stage for the secular centuries that followed in the Western world. The Medici banking dynasty. The Medici family's rise to power was due to the conflict between metaphysics and money. Giovanni di Bicci de' Medici founded the Medici Bank in 1397, which grew by establishing offices in various cities and benefiting from small currency markups. Despite not pioneering any innovative ways of making money, the bank built on an established business model and created cozy relationships with the powerful in Rome. The Medici family became the Pope's bankers, allowing them to gain immense wealth and power. The bank eventually collapsed in 1494, but through 5 generations of Medici control, they amassed a stunning collection of art and antiques. Cosimo de' Medici's successful manipulation. Cosimo de' Medici was not only a shrewd banker but also a skilled politician who benefited from the political instability of 15th-century Italy. He lent huge sums to the government to keep Florence afloat, made friends by spending heavily on civic projects, and profited from strategically located branches of his bank. Notably, he managed to manipulate his enemies and evade their attempts to bring him down. Cosimo's success was built on an understanding of the financial destabilization caused by chronic political instability, which drove governments to raise taxes, leading to financial crises and popular unrest. He navigated the complex political landscape of mercenary wars, shifting alliances, and treachery to his advantage. His story shows that banking involves manipulation, risk, and power, which can be harnessed by those who understand the nature of financial systems and have the political savvy to navigate them. The rise and fall of Cosimo de' Medici. Cosimo de' Medici was a skilled ruler who commissioned famous works of art and architecture, but his enemies accused him of being overly friendly to Jews, spending public money to build fortresses, and violating Florence's chaotic constitution. Despite his faults, he held power for years by dealing sternly with his enemies. However, he assuaged his guilt over his sins of usury and tax evasion by forming a charity for the poor, positioning himself as a generous tyrant and reducing the chances of rebellion from the disaffected poor. When he died, he left the bank to his son Piero de' Medici, just as fate seemed to turn against it. The bank fell on hard times due to unpaid loans, branch managers who violated the bank's trust, and a trade dispute that dried up their supply of British wool. Despite the family's success at influence peddling, Lorenzo's monopoly on the alum trade with Pope Paul II ended up being a money loser for the Medici Bank. Lorenzo de' Medici, the magnificent leader. After his gout-stricken father's death, Lorenzo took control of the Medici Bank and government at the age of 20. Despite claiming to be a reluctant leader, the precocious Lorenzo was celebrated for his poetry and patronage of the arts. However, he brought a certain degree of paranoia to the practice of patronizing artists, vetting their political predilections before commissioning their work. Lorenzo touted the need for peace while expanding Florence's territory and executed criminals while hiring spies to watch his ambassadors. As the Medici Bank rapidly dissolved due to reckless lending practices, Lorenzo busied himself with buying positions in the church for his young son. Despite his contradictions, Lorenzo was a true Renaissance man who left a lasting impact on Florence and the world of art.
The story of the Medici family is a fascinating exploration of the complex and turbulent era that witnessed the birth of modern society. Despite the constant controversy that surrounded their financial practices and the risky intersections of art, religion, and politics, the Medici's patronage of the arts helped shape a new world order. Their influence not only left a lasting impression on the aesthetic landscape but also challenged the church's dominion and introduced secular values to the public sphere. Tim Park's Medici Money, Banking, Metaphysics, and Art in 15th-Century Florence offers a captivating insight into the Medici legacy, highlighting the intricate connections between money, power, and cultural change that defined their time and shaped the world we know today.